All right, ladies, it's been a bit of a journey, hasn't it? Hello, everybody. Please, as you come in, say hi. Grab my phone so I can keep abreast of what's going on.
Yeah, I should probably do that too. You see, like, we always think of these things like after we hit the right buttons.
Nightmare and I have been discussing what Tifa and Cloud would do for her birthday.
Oh, we all know what he's been going to be doing for her birthday.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Somebody else can mind the bar.
That's right. Or, they might. Yeah. He's taking her out somewhere far away from prying eyes.
No kids, Barry doesn't even ask anymore. He's like, Barry shows up that morning. All right, he tells kid, get your shit.
Exactly. So chances are he's probably like got the kids and took them to either Coastal Del Sol or freaking Gold Saucer and be like, okay, kids, go. Here's the money.
Just here. She was like, what are you doing here, Barry? Like, oh, I already know. Just
it's like mom and dad need some time, so let's go.
Exactly. Make sure you check in with me every hour. I'm gonna go sit in the big kids bedding section. Every hour I expect a call.
I would die if we could see. And we'll be getting started here in a few minutes. Everybody, just letting people trickle in for a couple seconds. I would die if we got like way into the future, Cloudy, and Denzel gets to that age where he's like, so do y'all have sex?
Oh my gosh. Oh no, I'm not kidding you. I am dreading I am sympathy dreading when both Denzel and Marlene and whatever future children get to talk.
Oh God!
Because can you imagine? Well, they're probably prepared because Cloud and Tifa go at it all the time. They probably fall asleep with on the wall every fucking night. So they have.
We know the real reason Barrett left. Barrett's room was right next door to theirs. He was like, I can't do this anymore. I gotta go. Oh God.
Well, see, here's the thing: is that Cloud and Tifa are good in practice, but when it comes to verbalizing it. Especially imagine Cloud having to have the talk with Denzel, like the poor guy.
Yeah, he's probably going to like call it in and be like, "Hey Barrett, here you go. This one's yours. Tag.
This one's yours." Yeah, him and he'll give him to like Barrett and Sid to have the talk. He's like, you guys take care of this.
Yeah, like this one's you. I didn't get the talk, so here, you guys do it. Now that I think about it, I don't think Cloud ever got the talk.
I'm sure he did. I mean, he was 14 when he left home. I'm sure he.
When you boys get it, that's what I
don't. Look, trust me. I don't care, village or not. Trust me. I can guarantee they knew what sex was. But by the time they went to Shinra, I can promise you that. I was like 7 or 8. I mean, a lot of people had that talk early, so I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, interesting conversation. All right, ladies, let's get started. I'm sure people, come in as we get going. So, welcome everybody. This is Stygian Stilettos Gamer, aka Stygian Sis. I have my lovely ladies with me again. First, we have Rhea. I was like, well, one way. How you doing, Rhea? And we have Tifa Monk with us. Hey, Mom.
Hello.
I worked hard to put her there.
Yes. This is our Tifa birthday stream. What we're going to be doing is, as I play through chapter 3, we'll just be, talking about Tifa. And one main announcement I want to make before we get started, you might have noticed that the stream is called hashtag Tifa Month 23. Well, it's called Happy Birthday Tifa and then hashtag Tifa Month 23. It is because we have an event going on right now on Twitter called hashtag Tifa Month. And that is the hashtag that you will want to use. So as you can see here, it started today. And so for each Wednesday in the month of May, we have a different prompt. And you'll want to use the hashtags Tifa Month 23 and Happy Birthday Tifa. Here are the prompts. And I'll periodically go back to these, particularly if someone reminds me. But so we're very excited today's prompt is just, happy birthday, Tifa. Obviously, nothing really needed today. It's just it's our girl's birthday. Absolutely. And then next week, on May 10th, we will have Tifa the Fighter. So, whatever comes to mind, fan fiction, fan art that you have, gifts, or just, Twitter posts, anything that sparks your interest for that day. Please, again, hashtag Tifa Month 23, hashtag Happy Birthday Tifa, and we'll be very excited to see all the entries. We'll be retweeting as many as we can find. We've already gotten some pretty good engagement, so excited so far. Cool.
And on my end, I'm actually going to be putting a discount on all of my Tifa-related merch on my Etsy shop. So if you're hoping to get a hold of her earrings, as you can see that I'm wearing here, or if you're hoping to get her bracelets, I'll also have new merch on the shop as the month progresses. It's all going to be on sale if you're hoping to get some now that you can.
Yes, and I actually have some of them on as well. So, so yes. All right.
And I'm really excited. And this event is a little different than what we typically do, but we all wanted Tifa's entire month we wanted the entire month of May to be dedicated to Tifa. So this is a little different of a way to do it, and it also gives people plenty of time to participate, because a lot of times, sometimes people feel kind of rushed, and when the event is all crammed together, sometimes people miss the deadlines and stuff like this. With the entire month of May dedicated to Tifa, there is no pressure to do everything immediately. You have time to put together whatever you need to do.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's going to be really fun, and hoping that as many people can participate as possible. This is our first annual one, by the way, so expect to see this again. And we'll have some more events coming up. So if you are, a Cloudy in particular, but we also in our Discord, of course, love Zareth as well. Just look up Under the Stars Discord. Everyone's welcome. Hi, Rydia.
Hi, honey.
Yes, everyone's welcomed. And we'll see you there. And we actually have some really exciting announcements that'll be coming up later in the year. So stick with us. All right. Now, let's see. All right. So I'm going to get started here. Now, let me make sure that the Elgato's not louder than we are.
I don't know. For me, that might be a blessing. I do still sound like a Valley girl, at least from what I've been told.
Let's see.
Feel free to.
I don't know what I sound like anymore. I just don't even try. Oh, hey, fried green onion. She says hello and happy Tifa Day. Whoop whoop! Tifa Day and Tifa Mom. Oh, and just I almost forgot. Happy birthday to my dad. Miss you, but yeah, I always love you and love that you have the same birthday as Tifa.
All right.
Ooh, I love it. Like, so you technically get to see Tifa before this moment, because you get to see her as a little kid. But this is the first chapter you actually get to see Tifa.
Yep.
And Cloud is looking adorable with that little with that flower on it.
Flower, like his almost like a boutonniere.
Yes. What I love is that not only are you forced to take the flower, like there's nothing you could talk all day to Erin. She's gonna give you that damn flower and tell you that it's a reunion of lovers flowers. Yeah, corsage already. I just said. Hey, Max Sparky. Hi, Twitter friends. Hi, it's Max here. Hey. Yeah, doing good, Rydia. Thanks. And Rydia and I, as soon as possible, because I actually have yet another deadline for work that I have to get to. So we are trying to do a Final Fantasy 16 stream at some point as well. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, I love that you not only have to take the flower, but you see him wearing it the entire time. It's so cute. And then Jesse notices the flower on the train. And so like there were so many opportunities for Cloud to just toss the flower out or whatever he wants to do. Just get rid of the flower. there's no reason to keep it. He doesn't know everything. This flower means nothing to him in general.
Well, he knows it's poisoned.
Yeah, but for some reason, and when you think about it, because it does seem like she brings it up first, and so sometimes people say, well, maybe he just gave it to her because she brought it up. But I really don't think that makes any sense. He could have discarded it anytime. He was sitting on a train for an hour, like, toss it away. I mean, this whole thing is nothing but trash. He could have tossed it anywhere. It would have been the nicest thing in Sector 7.
Exactly. Like, oh my gosh. There's so many, he does have so many opportunities to get rid of it or give it to somebody else. Like, but he holds on to it.
Just like he holds on to that promise that they made, even though Genova's messing with his head and stuff, but intrinsic, like inside, subconsciously, he's always held on to his feelings for Tifa and that promise, and that's where the soldier's persona is constructed. So I bring that all up to say is just Tifa is that type of person that leaves that impression on people. And Tifa's unforgettable.
And here's the thing too. To add further context to why Cloud gives the flower to Tifa, and why it may have been in his mind as soon as it was put in his possession, because if you reject the flower the first time, Era says it'll make your girlfriend's day, and his immediate answer is how much.
Yes,
exactly. So there's some chivalry in there. He's got a chivalrous heart.
He's very romantic. He does the most over the top things just to get Tifa's attention. It's insane.
It's the cutest fucking thing. I think it's adorable.
And I love this part. First off, as a Tifa fan, you even just this shot. When you first play Remake and you're like, oh my god, this seventh heaven right there. Yep. That's seventh heaven.
The game literally tunnels, like it's tunnel vision.
Yes. Once you get close, yeah, like the camera shifts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's a good allegory for how Cloud thinks. Once Tifa is in the vicinity, everything else just tunnel visions to her. And I mean, look at her. She's beautiful inside and out. It's hard not to be like, whatever you want. Yes. You want my money? You want my car? You want my soul? Yes. Whatever you want.
Including the soul.
His heart, his soul, his mind, just property of Tifa, branded all over the place.
Final H Xhaven. Sorry, is it supposed to be Final Heaven? I'm assuming, just a different spelling. Home really wanted. He wanted her to be his girlfriend. Okay, I got it. I think what's interesting is that Seventh Heaven showcases so much warmth. Well, and including Tifa's theme, they now said was about her kindness to her childhood friend and making people feel at home and stuff like that. So yeah, Toriyama also said, sorry, you're always going to get some knowledge dropped on you if you come to this stream. So sorry if I sound like if I sound like an encyclopedia sometimes.
Well, might as well refer it. That's what good reporting does.
Yeah, absolutely. So Toriyama said that they wanted Sector 7 to feel like your home base. And so you see all these different themes of home. You go into the bar, it says welcome home and all this stuff like that. You have the main theme playing and Tifa's theme playing.
True. Even how Seventh Heaven is constructed, it's made of wood. It's made of very earthy, homey materials. Because when you see a wood structure, we are conditioned to see it as, oh, this is homey. It's warmer. It's more inviting because it's more alive. Whereas funny enough, just like Final Heaven said, like everywhere else is made of cold metal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's an excellent observation too.
Yeah.
And here's the thing too, is I don't know if this was intentional or not, but if you look at the way the building is shaped, of course it looks a lot different than it did from the OG. Mm-hmm. So of course this design change was purposeful. It looks very similar to a lot of the buildings that you see in Nibelheim.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, you see these homey, like even the lights. It just there's this warmth that exudes from the building, and then you have this beautiful lady sitting there smiling, waiting
with a munchkin on her side. Like it's a family. The architecture feels like a house. the material is warm, whereas everything else is around it is cold, making it a stark contrast. Everything about this scene.
Yes. And when you think about it, especially if you know the series, how many times does Cloud come home after OG to Seventh Heaven, and Marlene and Tifa are sitting there on the porch, enjoying the fresh air, or them and Denzel or whatever, taking a break
or
from the
doing
bars.
homework and
doing homework or whatever.
Very domestic life.
Like in a way, this is foreshadowing Cloud coming home to his family too. I mean, it's just so much going on. I can't. Oh, anyway, sorry. This is turned into a cloudy strip. But no, like Tifa is just such a she's such a dynamic character because she mixes this traditional woman with this modern woman at the same time, and it all fits. I just really like that because while she is an every woman, and life has forced her to be that, she still wants to make a warm, soft home for the people that she loves. I like that.
Yeah,
and that's the thing too, is that, and this, of course, I'm bringing in traces of Two Past, what we learned from that novel, is that Tifa exudes this presence, and it changes. It's not the location, it's her.
Yes.
Wherever she goes, she improves the location of wherever she's at. Because Seventh Heaven was a failing business before she took it over.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the brink of, probably being shut down permanently.
Yeah. It was going to be shut down permanently.
It was
pretty much the guardian angel of everything. I guess that's why she's the angel of the slums, where she just swoops in, saves the day, and everyone is better for it. And yet, more often than not, I think that's part of why everyone looks to Tifa as a de facto leader almost, and that she is that maternal grace. She is that, if you want to go to advice, you go to Tifa. Everyone knows Tifa because she's helpful, she's giving, she's kind. And I think that's part of why a lot of people do slip into Clody, because Cloud is the only one trying to take care of her, because she taking care of everyone else. She is providing everyone with a home, with comfort, with succor, and it's very much one of her greatest strengths, because even if she wasn't a fighter, even if you were to take away the martial artist, she is still arguably one of the strongest people, or one of the strongest characters made in any of the Final Fantasy franchises, which some would say that's a dramatic statement to make, but I would argue who has the same amount of impact and touches as many lives in a positive way than her. There's a reason why she is one of the most recognizable video game characters. Like, she's right up there with Lara Croft from Tomb Raider and Princess Peach from Nintendo and so on and so forth. She is one of the most recognizable video game characters.
Absolutely. And the thing is, it's the culmination of her characteristics and everything about her that makes her remarkable. It's not that she wasn't born particularly remarkable. Like, yeah, she was born of some status in Nibelheim, but she's a normal country girl. But she just of course.
And how much status can possibly get in a tiny little country town like Nibelheim?
Exactly. Yeah.
She has a 2-story home instead of a single-story home. Okay, wow, that's cool.
But
there we go, mother lode. There's a second story. Problem solved.
She's just a normal girl who didn't want to resign her life to what she was supposed to be. Even before Nibelheim burned, she was one to go out there and fight. And what I love is that her how embracing her father was of it too, because you would think he'd be like, well, you need to be worried about who you're gonna marry. You need to be playing your role. And when in fact that was not who. And maybe it was because Thea was. I really want to hear a lot more about Thea, because I feel like her influence has something to do with it as well.
I think so.
And maybe in some weird way, because it was something a little more what people would traditionally say tomboys wanted to do martial arts.
Sure does.
Thanks.
That maybe they were able to bond. I just love that they found something to bond through.
I mean, I'm still firmly in camp. Brian is like, nope, all future grandbabies are going to be immaculate conception. Anyone looks at our baby, nope.
He is definitely the overprotective father, but I will say,
if she wanted something, he would give her the world. And
yeah, absolutely. Well, and here's the thing too, that and I will say, you know, I am one of those people that had a really hard time liking Brian Lockhart because
don't tell Amy.
I'm sorry, but you know, Cloud is my baby, and I still got mad at him for yelling at Cloud. So I was like, he's just a little guy.
Oh.
He's a little guy. Like, come on.
Yeah, putting adult problems on little kids. No,
On little kids, come on. But you know, but at the same time, I do understand where Brian was emotionally, and that does affect the way that he parents Tifa. But I do like how Najima expanded on showing Brian's relationship with Tifa and how ultimately supportive he was of her, even though I'm sure he would love to just wrap her up in bubble wrap and never let anything else happen.
Yeah, and
But at the same time, I do think, like you said, I think Thea's influence, and I'm sure in the back of his mind, he's like, her mother would not approve of this. I need to give her I need to let her stretch her wings a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a bit. And I think part of it also is that he's almost lost her a couple times. He's gonna get a little bit more protective.
Well,
I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, and you know what? There is.
she got sick, or there was when she fell, her head, she was like in a coma for a week, and then there was another instance with the bridge, like that's twice, where he almost lost his little girl. So I can understand why he would be so hyper protective to a point where it's an irrational protectiveness.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't even know if it's irrational, honestly. I mean, your kid falls off of a mountain. I'm gonna be a little more worried.
To like put adult problems on a little kid, but it's still very much no parent wants to go through that, so it's understandable because she has been daddy's little girl this whole time.
Absolutely.
But with that in mind, even when you think about her within the context of being daddy's little girl, it's still very much she bucked the idea of being this kept child or this kept woman, more than she could be.
She absolutely could be.
She could like snap her fingers, have like a whole line of sugar daddies, sugar mamas, like any glucose guardian, and she wouldn't have to work a day in her life. She doesn't have to
sugar anything.
toys. And that is admirable because she understands that she was born into a measure of privilege, even within the context of just her teeny tiny little bumpkin village. She still had a measure of privilege when compared to the other kids. There weren't a lot of kids because
and just by the way that she looks, I mean, as you say, what is her name? What is she named after? Tell me one more time.
Tiferet or the Tifaroth.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, it's the embodiment. It's one of the branches of the Tree of Life. In some contexts, she is beauty personified, but in other contexts, my brain just died. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
But anyhow, she is the embodiment of beauty, but she's also being compared to Valkyrie, which are warrior angels, so to speak. I mean, yes, I'm mixing Norse mythology and Christianity for that one.
I mean, she has some Amazonian qualities. We're just gonna be tossing stuff in there, like there is some Wonder Woman qualities about Tifa. Yeah, exactly.
So minus the lobbing off a titty kind of thing.
Yeah, we keeping both. We keeping both girls. None of that.
But ultimately, what it really boils down to is just that she is afforded many opportunities, except she's not choosing the easy route. She understands, at least even as a child, to an extent, she understood that yes, she could do X, Y, or Z. But she is conscious of her choices and the consequences of said choices.
Yeah.
So she is completely understanding of her autonomy and not willing to sacrifice it. And that in itself is very independent and is very much the modern woman, where she is a self-made businesswoman. She's a self-made everything. She built herself up how many times from the ashes? She has multiple Phoenix moments, and it's amazing. It's
It really is crazy. I mean, the amount of times these two survived death is amazing to me. Let me read some comments real quick. So, Rydia said, when I first saw Tifa with Marlene, I immediately felt that maternal nature from her. And Nojima mentions that as well, that she's around Marlene and Trace the Two Paths. Everyone, please read Trace the Two Paths.
It's a good book. Read it.
Worth the read.
Read both sides. Read both parts.
Read all of it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's some really amazing moments between Tifa and Aerith in Aerith's portion as well.
Yeah.
And getting to see Tifa through Aerith's eyes, which is a very nice perspective, because a lot of the times when Tifa is involved, it's told through Tifa's perspective. But this was one of the rare occasions where you get to see Tifa through another character's perspective. And Aerith just absolutely adores Tifa.
her. She's gushing about Tifa. Yeah. I mean, it was really cute the way she was gushing about Tifa.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite changes with regards to remake, just that how you get to see that Aerith no longer has the interest of playing with their emotions. No, she actually looks up to Tifa.
Mm-hmm.
And almost to a point where I wouldn't go so far as say that Tifa is idolized, because Aerith is a little bit more grounded than that. But it's very much I want to be you when I grow up.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely the feeling you get.
I would not necessarily say she idolizes Tifa, but I would say that she is in awe of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, she's not going to put her on a pedestal, but it's just very much, can I be you when I grow up?
I think that's how people who come across Tifa, because you look at Tifa, and I don't mean what she has on, anything like that, obviously. I'm talking about you just look at her and you just immediately would, I think a lot of people would assume, oh, she's, like this supermodel looking woman running around, like she might have an attitude or something. She might think she's the bee's knees and wouldn't give me the time of day. And then you walk into her, she's like, hi, how may I help you? And what kind of day are you having? And you realize that she's just beaming this positivity and love, even for strangers. And
you get to see that a lot in game, where she has so much love that she even gives it to strangers that should be her enemy.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
With the middle manager in later chapters, she has no reason to know him, but she does, and she wants to protect him.
Yeah.
She wants to protect all of them. There's so much love there.
And even like a Sephiroth clone, for crying out loud. A Sephiroth clone is living in her building complex, and she's telling Cloud, hey, be nice to him. He's going through a lot right now.
He's not a bad guy. Can I help? Can you help me look out for him? And of course, Cloud, he's a sucker for TV.
Yeah, what does he do? Whatever you
want. Okay, let me get through these comments real quick. Sorry. It's been quoted from the creators prior to having children. It was confirmed Cloud enjoyed stability Tifa brought to him. That this family they created gave him happiness. Absolutely. And he became fearful of losing it, which is where part of his depression came from. And then losing Aerith and Zack at the same time, like it just, like he had lost people he cared about, his mom, etc. And so he was afraid of losing the happiness again. Yes. And that he was worried the happiness would slip away. Yeah, exactly. I think it also helped that Tifa was headstrong, so even if Dad said no, more than likely Tifa would have fought harder for it. Yeah, I mean, Tifa was not one to take no for an answer. I mean, Claudia said, you better not go in those mountains. She said, yes, ma'am, or whatever. Right on it. Hey, Bobby. A lot of her designs have an air of regality to them when she's staying in Nibelheim compared to Claudia's clothes, which are peach and tan from them. Yeah. Well, I mean, there is this, as I always like to affectionately say, there is this Aladdin and the princess, Aladdin and Jasmine type thing happening between them, because Cloud's family is kind of the black sheep of the village for, they pretty much had always been, because they were like envious but also judgmental of Claudia and her relationship with Cloud's father and stuff like that. So the villagers always had they always looked at them sideways. It's just Thea and Tifa and I would even say Brian. I don't think Brian treated her any particular way, or at least there's no evidence of it. So
the only time I think the voice at her
well, and here's the thing too, is that I don't think Brian had any sort of issue with Claudia. It was the fact that his little girl had a tiny little crush on her son, They Protective Daddy was baring his teeth a little bit there, you know. Tifa's like, oh, Cloud is so beautiful. He's gonna be better looking than Sephiroth. And Tifa's like, oh. And Brian's like, oh, God. It's
I
already
do not tell my daughter that.
You know, somebody's after my baby.
it's like it's already starting.
He was like, do not tell my daughter that. And by the way, I was going to say about, because Rhea had a great point, like, he's protective of Tifa, but he tries not to stop her from what she wants to do. That is a parallel to me with Cloud, because Cloud, you clearly see these moments where Cloud hesitates and he doesn't want Tifa to do something. But, and not saying, well, I mean, she might be calling him daddy at night sometimes, but it ain't that kind of relationship, trust me. Brian rolling over in his grave. But in all seriousness, you do see that they do look after each other in that sense. Again, it's not like quite parent, but more protector. So you see Cloud
with what you gave me
playing this role where he's not going to stop Tifa. Largely, he's not going to stop Tifa from doing what she wants to do. But he will be there to watch over her.
Exactly.
And so, and I think even though they clearly had issues. Sorry, Monk, real quick. Even though him and Brian definitely had issues. I think part of Cloud admires Brian's, willing to go the extra mile and do anything to protect his daughter type deal. Mm-hmm. And I think it may add it to why Cloud is so excited to be a dad with Tifa, first raising Marlene and then they adopt Denzel together, who truly becomes their kid, because they love Marlene, they raise her while Bear's gone, but that's still Bear's kid. They understand that at the end of the day that one day she's going to leave.
And the thing is with Cloud is more like a godfather to Marlene rather than an actor.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, just one moment.
Okay,
yeah.
You're good.
But there was something else I was going to say about the whole Brian thing. Is that absolutely, you can see that direct parallel in the way that he, respects Tifa when she's going to Walmart. He clearly doesn't want her to go. I mean, he's got the biggest puppy dog pout on his face I've ever seen.
Yes.
But in the end, Tifa's like, "Hey, don't worry, I got this." And he's like, "Okay."
Right. She's like, I can kick ass. He's like, yeah, I know. Because he does want to be her hero and stuff like that, but he does, and he's proud of the fact that she can take care of herself, but it doesn't stop him from having that instinct about him too.
Exactly.
Let's see. Cloud stands an independent woman who needs no man. Yeah, that's
exactly.
Brittany says even though the top of the plate is filled. What? Hold on. Oh, filled with all the power and the wealth, it somehow manages to be the most lifeless compared to the same. Yeah. The slums, and they kind of give that impression too that the slums have. Eric mentions this. That there's all this life and stuff going on under the slums. Like, how could she abandon it? That's part of the reason she doesn't want to leave Sector 5, because there is all this passion and stuff underneath the plate.
Asked me to check on him
for Tifa's 23rd birthday, Cloud gave her 2,300% staggering focus thrust. Bobby, get off of my stream right now. Okay. Tifa doesn't believe in the cycle of violence and propagating it. I don't know exactly what we're talking about there, but okay. Sorry, Bobby. Hey, Keita Aries, what's up?
Here's what I think. You can correct me if I'm wrong in this assessment, but I think what that last comment was talking about was the fact that Tifa is hesitant to resort to violence, even though she has this drive for revenge against Shinra. She still doesn't want to hurt people.
Yeah. She wants Shinra gone, but
she wants Shinra gone. But even when it comes to the lower tier people of Shinra, she doesn't, like what was said earlier, with the Shinra middle managers and stuff. She doesn't want to hurt anybody. She just wants the company to be, dismantled.
I've been around.
Yeah. For lack of a better term.
No matter.
Pun unintended.
Oh, pun unintended. Ugh.
Yep, please excuse my mobile.
Oh, look at the doggy.
And if you hurt her, I'll take
But
her
yeah, so
Loud and clear.
favorite Tifa moments throughout the series. Oh man, this is gonna be tough. Well, I tell you what, one that I forgotten how much I loved until you put it on Twitter, Monk, was when Tifa's escaping and she's escaping Junon. And she does that cool thing where she jumps off the building and catches the rope. I really hope they keep this. I know that's super like, stereotypical a bit, like a typical tropey.
I don't care.
But I did not care. It was so cool. It was so cool.
Give my girl her Mission Impossible moment. Square Enix, I swear to God, you better leave that thing in there. You better amplify that shit to 200%. I am in your walls right now, Najima. You better keep that thing in.
I'm in your walls. Oh my God. Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave all the thoughts I was having to myself on that one.
I mean, I'm okay with them getting rid of the slapping fight, but let me
I'm fine with them keeping it.
You know what?
I'm
You
fine
know
with them
what?
keeping it because that bitch needs to be slapped.
Well, here's what I think. Here's what. Okay, if I may have a moment to theorize here, I think we're gonna have a sort of a similar boss fight to what happens in Intergrade in Yuki's DLC, where there's gonna be a big mech battle with Scarlet.
Hey,
Yeah.
Just so you know.
It can also be
And-
argued.
I'm reading the comments. I'm just dying. Go ahead.
Let's get down to business, shall we?
Wait. I can't read anything.
Oh,
right
Bobby
now.
said, Bobby said, clouds and Tifa's walls, and he said, all right, I'll stop. Yeah, you need to stop. You distracted me.
Sir, I'm gonna need you to calm down.
Horny
a little bit,
gel, somebody, I need a horny gel thing up here for Bobby.
And get paid.
We're gonna need a cold shower up in here. We're gonna need.
Cold shower. We need the blow dryer.
Well, you know what, look, it's not our fault that we have a sexy ass ship. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we know. I mean, these two been living together 4 years. I mean, it's a true miracle. So either somebody's sterile or she got the best birth control on the planet because there ain't no way. Look at these two. They can barely.
They doubling up. They got 2 kids already. They
Yeah.
ain't ready for it.
There ain't no way they keeping their hands off each other. Look, they can't keep their hands off each other in remake. They just reunited.
Yeah, shoot.
Well, I mean, chapter 3, Cloud is already like ready to
And don't worry.
Yeah, oh yeah.
break his tango. In chapter 3.
You know what, Monk? You should make a video where Marvin Gaye starts playing when she starts walking up to him, and then it like scratches
God.
when she mentions Nibelheim. He's like, what?
Oh my God, I'm so doing
You
that
gotta
this
do
week.
that.
I'm so doing that.
But anywho, to Monk's point, I think you might be onto something, especially because Cloud and Tifa, at least throughout remake especially, they have a lot of matching moments. So I think you're going to have Tifa versus Scarlet is kind of like an ode to Cloud versus Rufus. It's going to be
Yeah.
and
Yes.
with how Cloud had the rhythm game.
tickle your fancy.
Now we're probably going to have Tifa having the rhythm game, which is kind of why I am firmly in camp. Tifa is the one that gets the most of, if not the entirety of the gold saucer date. I will put down money on this. I'm prepared to be wrong, but I'll put down money. And that's because they do
She at the very least. She at the very least is going to be the one on stage.
and it's
I would almost ready to stake my life on it. I'm almost ready to stake my life on it.
It's going to be a musical number worthy of Final Fantasy X-2. Fight me.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? I never thought about that, but that would not be. I mean, these two are practically sisters. I'll tell you, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now maybe Yuna would be more a cousin, but 7, 8, 9. all could be
Then you know
sisters.
what to expect.
Una would be the half sister or the cousin.
They all like they have the same hairstyle. Yeah, her hair's a little bit lighter, but
Apparently it was done by a terrorist.
change the hair and they're the same person. They siblings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And here's so it's like there's already so much foreshadowing. At least, even with, and I'm telling you, we're gonna see Andre. We're gonna see at least him again. We're gonna see him at Bolt Saucer, and he's gonna be there
Hey, Morrow.
to get Cloud and Tifa on stage. We all know it.
Yep. Like if we don't see Andrea again, that would be a wasted opportunity.
Y'all are looking at me right now.
His name is Andrea. Okay, all Andreas be awesome. I said what I said. Come at me, bro.
Collections.
Okay, so comments real quick.
I'm pretty good at taking care of myself.
Other
you
than Bobby being horny. Let's see. Tifa versus Loz for me. I love that fight, even though Loz cheated. Yeah, that mother cheated. Absolutely. Can't
And
stand
he
him.
wants to learn about what Tifa went through medically. That's even double the cheat because can you imagine metal? It's like anytime it rains, she's probably in pain. So, and then using electricity when she's got metal mesh in her rib cage.
Yeah, absolutely.
That you are.
All right, keep that dog from letting the girl out on that side. Yeah, okay, all right, good, all right. I'm just looking out for you. This will be the most popular stream I ever did in a second here. Okay.
Are we gonna have like a Met Gala wardrobe here?
More Janet Jackson moment.
Like Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake.
Except the dog is Justin Timberlake. Instead, you said worse. Remember the Facebook and said, okay, so what really is talking about is I was trying to share some not safe for work art with Nightmare. Instead, I put it on my Facebook story where all my friends and family could see. And I couldn't figure out how to get it down for like 10 minutes because I was on the app instead of the.
Oh, no.
It was a disaster. Nobody missed it because it was like 11 o'clock at night. I'm just praying nobody saw it, but it was hilarious. And so Deep Muscats, it was her art, so I was like, yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you for making this gorgeous art that I love to death. Got me sharing this stuff to Facebook by accident.
You just reminded me of it's like that scene from Turning Red. You know, you're posting your horny artwork on your Facebook, and the mom walks in and is like, "What the hell are you posting?"
Oh my god! Woo! But
you're like, "That's not what it looks like." No.
Bobby says, one thing that people probably kind of overlook is that Tifa's the one to bring him back to reality once more after Cloud, Omni/Sephiroth. Okay. Yeah, and she kind of does that a lot in Remake OG and AC, yeah. Even him deciding to... Yeah, that's definitely something that's overlooked by having children. And it's actually the conversation in the bedroom that propels Cloud to decide to do something. And all that happens later is Aerith repeats the same words to Cloud that Tifa said. And then he's like, okay, I forgive myself, and keeps going. You know?
Yeah, be like, yeah, Tifa said it, and you repeated Tifa, so okay, I hear you, Tifa. Thank you, bye.
Aerith's like, I'm not telling you anything that she ain't told you already, okay? You go back to your family.
And here's the thing, too. Here's the thing, too. This goes in hand with the On the Way to a Smile, where it says that Aerith cannot reach Cloud in this current state. She tries to communicate with him, and she's hitting a brick wall. Mm-hmm. So she can't even reach out to him. The very fact that she's able to reach out to him at that moment is because of that conversation.
Yeah, because she only appears after that. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, flexible. Oh, okay, bot alert. Yeah, hopefully the bot goes away. But thanks for letting me know. Who doesn't want to see Andrea and a Speedo and Costa del Sol? Distract her with Backstreet Boys. It's not safe for work. It's just the Backstreet Boys. So it's funny. Nah, it would be in sync in my case. Oh, what the hell am I doing? Oh, wait.
You're meeting all the people that are thirsty for Tifa. They need to go away.
Oh, I'm supposed to be going to the weapon shop. I was sitting there going back to 7th Heaven.
You're going home.
There we go. All right. Yeah, I got this. I know Tifa was like, where the hell is this bitch?
She helped get me set
But
up.
yeah, Tifa's just let me think. Other favorite moments. I love when she drop kicks Johnny. I love also when she rejects Johnny. He's like, I'll forsake everything for you. She's like, have a good, be safe out there, Johnny. Like, I got my man. He's standing right here. You go ahead.
She let him know his place in her life.
Yeah.
And that is over there.
Over there, to the left. I love her. Oh man, there's so many good parts from Tracy 2 Pass with Tifa. Like the whole thing leading up to her falling in love or realizing she's in love with Cloud at the water tower. Beautifully written. I love her cracking Rakesh's nose. That was awesome. I really like them showing her business savvy where she starts thinking about how she's going to pay off her debt. And like her mind is just, going into all these calculations and stuff like that.
And she's doubting her own intelligence as she's things, and I'm like, I couldn't not do a business.
I mean, yeah, if she can impress an accountant, she can impress anybody.
Don't really know.
In that case, I've got a suggestion.
And I love this part here because Tifa guides Cloud a lot, but one quality, and I always say this, and I love this about her. She does not make Cloud feel pushed around. She does not make Cloud feel like he's not in charge of his life or he's not in charge of the situation. Not that he's got like a for lack of a better term, toxic masculinity about him where he can't take orders from a woman. Because trust me, he was a little too excited to be calling Tifa teacher in this in this chapter. But he doesn't like feeling like he doesn't have a say in what's going on. And Tifa, so in that part that just went on, she's like, I have a suggestion. You want to hear it? And she convinces him. And then he agrees. That's one thing. He agrees.
And I think that's something really important. She respects his autonomy, and she's building or helping him build a foundation so he doesn't need her. At no point does she make it so that he needs her in order to survive, because she's giving him the tools that she had ultimately been denied. And more than that, while she wants him to stay, she doesn't need him to stay, and he won't be beholden to her. They are staying together out of a choice, and I think that's important to remember. And I'm sorry, my dog wants all the attention. And
you're good. You're good. It's fine.
I'm vanishing behind dogs right now.
Thought if he joined the watch, he could get his name out there.
But yeah.
But a lot of it is also, we want to enforce the idea that they are choosing to stay. You don't want somebody in your life that needs you, be it due to some sense of, I can't survive without you. It's still very much you're choosing to be with me. And I think that's kind of almost a response to how in Advent Children, everyone's all like, oh, well, Cloud's only staying with Tifa because he has no choice because she puts a roof over his head. And it's just like, he can't.
Yeah, his grown ass can't find anywhere else to live. I mean, really. It is just ridiculous.
He can't support himself. He is more than capable. Like, yes, he is stunted due to the time that he had lost.
But it had been 2 years since all that. Like, and Tifa, in fact, and On Way to a Smile, have been letting him learn how to be self-sufficient there too, where she's letting him, even though he's blowing away money sometimes, paying outrageous prices for certain things, procurements. She knows that him learning to bargain and how to run a business is very important for him to be independent and self-sufficient. And so, yeah, even though it's the last thing that she wants, which is him to leave, she loves him enough to give him what he needs, not what she wants.
Yeah, so, and I think that's very important in any relationship, but I enjoy the fact that they showcase this in the game, because consider the game's age. For example, it came out in 1997, if I remember correctly. So at that time, we're still getting love stories where the protagonist and the heroine, they need each other. It's not a matter of wanting to be together. And that kind of denotes a measure of codependency, a measure of their relationship being transactional.
Yeah.
And then here we have Cloud and Tifa, and we have Tifa with everybody else as well, where we have example of transactional relationships where it's just a give and take, and then we also have relationships that are purely given. And we have so many examples, which is a testament, one, to the writing, and two, to this, like, when Tifa was being designed as a character, I think they just struck gold. Because, like, I don't even think consciously, especially in 97, that this much attention to detail was given to a bunch of polygons. Like, there's more faces and vertices, all that good crap in her cheek than there were in the polygon back in 97. There's a lot more now, but even back then you're looking at, like,
still a lot of depth to her character even back then.
Yeah, there's a reason it stood the test of time, especially when you have, again, a lot of two-dimensional, one-dimensional examples of character interaction within other games, within other shows, movies, books. And I think that's part of why Tifa in particular withstood the test of time. Everyone who has played video games to an extent knows who Tifa is. I mean, yeah, to an extent we know who Aerith is, but...
Well, I mean, and it's not to make a comparison. It's not, no comparison is necessary. But I mean, you can't remove the fact that Aerith is one of the most popular death scenes in gaming history, with the fact that everybody that people know, and like that's why people know her.
Exactly.
In large part, I'm not saying it. You know, obviously, a lot of people love her character. I'm very much a fan of her characters, particularly in the remake and the compilation post OG, as everyone knows. Post OG, me and Eric good post OG for the most part. Okay, but
ultimately,
but Tifa, but I know exactly what you mean. Tifa's known because she's that. And yeah, some of it, you know, yeah, people are automatically going to say, well, you know, she also has big tits like Lara Croft. Yes, but Lara Croft ain't popular 20 years down the line because of tits. Okay, a lot of people have breasts. Okay, a lot of characters have breasts that ain't nowhere near as popular as Tifa Lockhart. Okay,
so I think ultimately what it boils down to is the characterization. So. And that's one part, and I think that's part of why Tifa to this day is so beloved, because of that characterization.
Absolutely.
And more than that, it's still ultimately when you see Tifa's character, when you see everything that she does for others, you can see different examples of the transactional relationship, of the give and take, or of the truly altruistic desire to be with someone, but while still wanting the best, even if the two are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. And just to speak on this as well, like to see a hero in the 1990s in particular who was so independent and self-sufficient, and clearly was of the two
True.
Well, you know, like she had so much going on already. You know, Cloud was playing the Merc. You know, he was just kind of doing his own thing. Didn't really want any responsibilities at the time. Just was, you know, like that was part of what he was convincing himself was the, you know, with the soldier persona. It was just like this, you know, wanderer, samurai-ish type, you know, like just I wander here, there, I make some money, I keep it moving. That's kind of how he was trying to portray himself, the soldier persona. And
He's the kind of guy that likes to roam around.
Meanwhile, Tifa was now we know officially running a business. It was really unclear in OG. I didn't know if she was working for Barrett or what the hell was going on. But point is, at the very least, she was running that business from day to day. With Avalanche, helping raise a kid. She was helping, you know, like she was known around the neighborhood, around Sector 7, and now we know, like, she spends her time like this helping Sector 7, teaching people how to defend themselves with the neighborhood watch. And Trace the Two Paths, she was teaching the middle-aged and elderly people how to stay in good health. So much going on. She truly does not need anybody. And that's what I like is a lot of heroes, you know, they were like, because she has this princess, there is this princess nature about it. Monk, if you want to jump in at some point after this, feel free. She does have like the and they mentioned this in Omega. There is this childlike princessy naivete about the promise that she asked, because it was just kind of on the fly, and she's just a 13-year-old girl, and she's like, what can I ask? It's like, oh, what if he could save me one day? She just wanted to tether herself to Cloud. It really was. It was just kind of a off the cuff, childlike promise. But it's clear when you go through the story, Tifa really is the one. Like they save each other. Don't get me wrong, but Tifa ultimately is the one to save him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just love that about it too, is that she is the self-sufficient one. She is the one that she doesn't need him, she wants him.
Exactly.
And you don't normally see that type of dynamic between male and female characters, particularly in the 90s.
And I also think that as time progressed and we were kind of embracing the girl power movement, unfortunately, a lot of men, especially when they are creating their heroine all powerful, it's at the detriment or sacrifice of their femininity. Mm-hmm. At no point can it be argued that Tifa is antithetical to femininity. She is femininity personified.
Absolutely.
You can still kick your ass and do so without breaking a sweat. So it's still... there's so much to love about her. There really is. Mm-hmm. And it's
like
more...
Oh, go ahead, Monk. Mm-hmm.
It's just agreeing with what Rhea said and saying that was the thing that drew me to her initially, was the dichotomy of her being this, very strong character, but she has this gentle nature about her, and that is one of the things that makes me not particularly care for a lot of female characters when they are written that way, is when they are robbed of their femininity, and you don't really get to see this gentle, sweet side to them. A lot of times they come across as very crass, very abrasive, and Tifa is none of that.
Yeah.
She looks like she would be. She looks like she would be, one of those hoity-toity characters, especially since she's gorgeous. A lot of characters that are that way. They have this certain persona that's very. Their personality isn't as pretty as they are. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing about Tifa. Her personality is as beautiful as she is.
And that's something that has clients that are in the entertainment industry. This is how some of them actually are in real life. It's not that much of a stretch to see someone, unfortunately. You see somebody that's gorgeous, and unfortunately, pretty privilege does or can poison somebody's mind, or how they carry themselves because they're used to getting everything. So I can understand why the knee-jerk reaction would be that way. But also, something else to consider is that if you don't have a lot of women in the room to express what they believe a strong woman would look and act like, a lot of men think that femininity equates weakness. And that's not the case. And the fact that in the 90s, a bunch of men, I don't think there were any women in the room, made Tifa, and you're like, and
where's he at?
They, like I said, they struck gold. Lightning struck. And I don't think they realized what they were doing until she had already taken a life of her own.
Absolutely.
And she essentially wrote her own story. Like whenever you're writing, sometimes the character essentially writes itself.
Uh-huh.
And she is very much the muses decided, no, you're going to take over the pen right here. Let's just possess Mojo.
And I will say, now I think some of these older interviews are a bit misconstrued and stuff like that, and nefariously motivated sometimes when people bring them up. But I will say there was this desire to make this super badass woman, but it also does kind of feel like they were going for the ideal woman at the same time, and they managed to make it. And I'm saying their idea of an ideal woman, in some ways. So gorgeous, can cook, clean, do all that, but also is brilliant, a great fighter, and all this stuff like that. So like they mix this, like I said, this traditional woman with this suffragette-ish type character, and whenever, of course, Yeah, it can be hit or miss for sure if you got a room full of men writing a female character and trying to, but they managed to make such a nuanced character that women and men are drawn to her, and for a lot of the same reasons. And I also being a woman, there's no right way or no one way to be a woman. And what I like about Tifa is like, well, yeah, I like, there's nothing wrong with a more quote unquote, what you would think a traditionally masculine type woman. But I also do like the more girly, because I'm, well, maybe I just see myself as this, but I'm actually pretty girly. I love to wear heels, blah, blah, and all that. But I'm also a working woman. I'm running a household. I go out and do, all the stuff that needs to be done, and like I juggle those roles too, in my opinion. So character like Tifa, I feel like I can see myself in as far as that. Now, my personality, absolutely not. I'm nothing like Tifa, but as far as who she is, yeah, I identify in that way.
I'm gonna definitely age myself by saying this, by using this reference, but I kind of imagine Nojima as the professor from the Powerpuff Girls. He's putting sugar and spice, and then oops, there goes chemical.
Exactly. We love ourselves the original Powerpuff. We're not associating with the abomination that came after.
I thought she was gonna bring up Murphy Brown or something. I was like, age yourself. I didn't know where she was going. Let's see. That's a lot of money there. Oh, hey, Meza. Yeah. So Riddy is saying there's also more than one way to save someone too. So yeah, absolutely. She is not physically saving him, but saving his mind. Yeah. Well, she does physically save him too, but that's a little matter. She does all.
She saves him in so many different ways. It's unbelievable.
Yes. That's in a lot of modern gaming too, talking about the problematic things with female. It's just not a perfect science yet. It's kind of like how minority characters in general, because I would still consider female characters a minority in gaming. When the majority is trying to write for the minority, it's going to be hit and miss sometimes.
Exactly.
With Tifa, like I said, just struck gold all the way around.
I think they try to replicate it, and they haven't been able to.
No.
No.
Notice Tifa is the only. I'm guessing. I'm thinking. Well, if you go through. Well, never mind. I won't even go there. I'm just saying. Just her being a physical fighter alone is kind of a, even a break from the norm.
Are usually mages, sorceresses.
Healer, like not physical contact fighters. Yeah, so
exactly.
That's a main love interest. You know what I mean? Yeah. Exactly.
Like, and I'm not saying I don't like the badass, don't need nobody type of like.
More power to you.
I will love her.
Look at her; she is so cute.
I know. However, it's just like, give me Amy Rose also, where you have this super pink, super girly girl, and then she pulls out the mallet from Mallet's face, and he's trying to kick your ass. Like, I love it when the hyper feminine are still
like the Harley. Well, I mean, Tifa's not insane, but like the Harley Quinnish type deal, she's super feminine and attractive, but she can kick your ass too.
All that. Yeah, I think part of it is also, again, referring back to when Tifa was first introduced, because like I played Final Fantasy VII maybe like a couple years after it had been released, like 98, 99 is when I first played it, and I'm coming from a time where it was oversaturated, either the hyper feminine to a point where it was almost to a point where you would have a psychological rebuke, or like I'm like denouncing all the pink. I hate, like, if I see pink, I hate it on sight, because internalized this
I know what you mean.
Femininity. And then you have Tifa, who is still feminine and makes it and she made it okay to be feminine, especially at the time where we were going through, again, embracing the girl power movement. And unfortunately, the downside of that was turning your nose up at anything overtly feminine to a point where it was.
Well, it's the pendulum swing. Like the pendulum goes somewhere and then it just swings. It starts to swing a little too far to the other way. It's like, okay, let's
exactly. Either way, it's still a representation of misogyny. But But then you have Tifa, who is both strong and feminine.
Yeah.
She is both the mother and the provider. She is still...
that's a nice way to put it. I like that.
Like, she built the home and she's making the home. Like, she is every woman. She is essentially...
Yeah, well, let's break out into some Whitney Houston now.
It's still,
Poison Ivy really, yeah. Let's, what was some other... there's just so many good things. And like one little Easter egg for people who don't know this. There was this, I think it was a mobile game that they had for a while called G-Bike. And I'm sure Monk knows this. And y'all know this. And speaking of Tifa's birthday, and Cloud, Marlene mentions it or something like that, and Cloud's like, I don't need to be reminded that it's her birthday. And then like he's apparently supposed to go. Oh, you know what? I even got it. So let me see if I can find it real quick because this is super freaking cute.
S'mores.
Let's see.
Okay. While you hunt that down, I need to step away again and try to put a buffer between me and this giant
Beast.
Laptop that is so freaking big.
Okay.
No concept of his size.
All right. Yeah, but I thought this was super cute. Where did I put it? Spinoffs. There we go. Yeah, so if you have not seen this, and you can check out my Twitter, I retweeted it earlier today. But in G-Bike, it says, let's see, there's two parts here. Says, Cloud, it's Tifa's birthday today, you know. Marlene didn't need to tell him, as Cloud already knew. Cloud rides off in a rather uncharacteristically gentle and peaceful mood. However, a guard spider suddenly swoops down on him. Since Cloud is momentarily shaken from the sudden assault, however, he readies himself and shifts gears to counterattack. He can't afford to lose on Tifa's birthday. That is so freaking sweet. Like, I just love the little Easter eggs they even put in the spin-offs. Like, I mean, just so many good little Easter eggs. I still can't believe we got power wash just randomly.
Just the sweet little moments, because it's not the grand gestures, it's the little things. It's the remembering that she likes fruits and vegetables instead of like diamonds and stuff. Yes. Or getting her flowers instead of, you know, just like knowing what she likes. The little things.
It's like that, and they're really showing that in a much bigger way in remake, is showing just how attentive he is. Like they're showing that from the very beginning, and he always has been, but they're showing it much clearer this time around. From the beginning. What am I doing now?
She deserves it though. With all that she went through and all that she overcome, she deserves somebody to want to cater to her versus her caring and nurturing everybody else. It's her turn to get
absolutely. All right, well, we let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in particular we want to go over. Let's do this Johnny part, and then we just wanted to celebrate Tifa's birthday again. Tifa month is getting started here. Let me stay away from me. So hashtag Tifa month 23. The prompt today is hashtag Happy Birthday Tifa. So you can see on the screen here. And here are the prompts. As I said, today is Happy Birthday Tifa. Our next prompt, next Wednesday, is Tifa the Fighter. So it's every Wednesday a new prompt. So it's not like a whole week. You know, you can post anytime you want to, but it's only a 1 day a week event for the remainder of May.
Yeah, so that way we can be Tifa and Mermaid. Don't judge me, loving heart.
We've got to save him, Cloud.
I'm gonna give Monk a chance to come back, and we'll start wrapping this up. But I appreciate y'all ladies. We just wanted to talk about Tifa for a minute. She's just awesome, wonderful character.
Maybe I should go.
And
look at how cute! Just look at her. Look at how cute she is.
Are you sure?
I just love all the little posing she does with Cloud. So sweet.
I know. Granted, half those poses are because her back hurts. Part because of her titties.
On her birthday, the day after her birthday, it's hurting for a whole other reason.
I would hope so. She earned it.
Hey, Rita, it's me.
But yeah, she's carrying the whole company on her shoulders. Just poor woman. She needs a break.
Okay, look, Meza just made a joke after my own dorky little heart. She said, "Hey, Rita, it's me, Mario." That is hilarious.
I need to go see the Mario movie.
I was supposed to see it with my friend a while ago. I never did go. I need to get on that.
I need to get some people to go with me here because I don't want to go by myself.
I just love the little power couple stuff that happens up here. And then, like I said, I love her decking Johnny.
I know. I also love how they just pull like this Scooby-Doo whenever they're like, oh, you remember Scooby-Doo? Like old Scooby, everyone can see them all stacked up. They pull the Scooby-Doo and I think it's just so freaking cute. There I go dating myself, but it's
Girl,
so
I
cute.
love Scooby-Doo.
All he had to do was keep his mouth shut.
Except for the new Abomination, but I love Scooby-Doo.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen it, yeah.
Don't touch it. It's not worth it. Trust me on this one, don't.
And just a shout out to Britt Barron once again, Ayumi Ito. But I did say that Britt Barron said happy birthday to Tifa today. That's so cute. I'm talking about their English and Japanese voice actors for people that don't know. Or her, I should say, not there.
Who are you? The cavalry?
That would require doing all of the missions. I'm not gonna do it today.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Here we go.
I love this. I mean, I just
love, yeah.
They steal these little glances at each other.
That does it for me. And you want to know something? I realized I kind of blame Cloud and Tifa. It's kind of set my standard for most shipping, which is weird because usually you would think that would equate to me shipping canon. No, give me the power couples, even if they're not the canon ship.
Exactly. Because look, I'm Team War Rose. I don't know what's gonna, because like people were taking this way too serious when we were comparing Cloudy to War Rose, which is what I have decided to call Jill and Clive out of Final Fantasy 16.
I like it. We're gonna go with that
Well,
one.
War Rose sounds a lot better than Cleo or Jive. I'm sorry.
War Rose. I like this one. Patent it. Make sure that whenever
my friend came up with that. Sakura came up with that. So shout out to Sakura.
Giving her the credit.
She was brilliant. So it's not about, I don't care if they canon or not. If they don't end up together, fine, whatever. But I love it. Yeah, and like they said, like they could be a power couple as well, because they even had this little moment where he's like, "Ready, my lady?" And she's like, "Ready." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's what Cloud and Tifa said."
I moved my screaming set up. My blow dryer's over there. But let me tell you, when he busted out with the milady,
ooh, girl, I said, "Oh Lord." There was something real sexy about that.
To excuse myself.
Roswick ain't bad either. I'll take either one over. I'll take either one over damn Cleo or Jive. I was like, what is this, George Jefferson? I'm not calling that Jive.
Yeah, no. Nobody even liked the Jive when the Jive was a thing.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I'm oh man, I guess the last thing I want to say is things we're looking forward to coming up with Tifa. Remember? So I definitely am looking forward to part 3 when she's going to be the team lead.
What do you want to do now? Head back to
we're going to get lots of monologuing from her, hopefully thinking back on her time with Cloud, thinking back on their childhood and stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be sweet. And she's going to be, in charge of the team. Deciding what the journey is. I really, really, really need her to come to see Zangan again. I don't know if you say Zangan or Zangan. I just have not decided to say Zangan.
Yeah, I was going Zangan mostly because I am trying to honor the phonetic pronunciation, but it's hard. Fortunately, I am. But I'm trying. Even if I am right, I'm trying.
I mean, Zangan rolls off the tongue for me, but I don't know why.
The only one I won't do is Titus. It has to be.
I refuse Titus. I reject that in the name of Jesus. I will never say Titus. Okay, I don't care what else he comes out. Hey, that'll be my. Well, no, let me not say that. Let's just say I will be in denial about Tidus the way other people in denial about other things. Let me just put it that way, okay? There's nothing else he can say to me to change my mind on Tidus, okay?
That ain't happening. That ain't happening. But one thing that I'm looking forward to, obviously, I want to be proven right about the gold saucer debate. But in addition to that, I feel as if because we've experienced a lot, like for example, a lot of the Cetra segments of the game through Cloud's eyes. I'm kind of looking forward to experiencing it through Tifa's eyes because of how close she and Aerith are as friends. Mostly because I know I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I won't like just thinking about her.
I don't even want to think about it.
I know someone who
Because I mean, if she would cry over Jesse, that backstabbing. Well, no, let me calm down. I said that to be all positive. That lovely woman Jesse, if she'll cry over her, then oh my god. Rydia said that according to the city of 012 is Zangan. So
okay,
I don't know if that's true. I'm just gonna assume it is because Rydia is like an encyclopedia for video games. So if she says it's real, I'm going with it.
I'm going with it. It validates me, so I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, in addition to that, other than I want the "I told you so" points. I do, like you said, when Tifa takes over the party and she is the party leader, I kind of feel as if we're going to get more of the unbiased backstory, so we might actually get to see parts of Traces of Two Paths animated. So I'm like, I'm so looking forward to how they're going to incorporate that, because you can speed through Tifa's segment of the game, but I feel as if they're going to draw that out a little bit more.
Oh, definitely.
I'm looking forward to it.
Because like, I think because it's not going to be a surprise what happens. Everybody knows what happens at this point. What they're going to do is build up the suspense. Like, you're going to be rooting for Tifa to find Cloud. You're going to be rooting for that. And rooting for them to figure out how to save the world. Because at that point, all hope is kind of almost lost. But it's her wanting to reunite with Cloud that is keeping her going.
Exactly, because everything's done. I mean, it was until, and I'm going to say this wrong, and I know it. Hagen-Dazs.
I already knew what you were going to try to say. I said Bugenhagen.
For him, with that Hail Mary, so to speak, it was the end of the world. So, and the fact that she kept looking for Cloud instead of just saying, fuck it. We're done. I'm just going to go get drunk. I'm going to go get laid. But no, her focus was saving her world, even though there's nothing else that any of them could have done for the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's one of the... Because everyone argues that Tifa was selfish in her motivation, but it's just like, what could she or any of them have done?
And the thing is, like, she just wasn't going to leave Cloud. If the world was going to end, she was not going to let him die alone.
Yeah, exactly.
She was going to be right there, just like how they were always together from the beginning.
No, they took till death was part seriously, and they haven't even exchanged their vows.
He had been there. He had been there since the day she was born. And if that was going to be her last day, she was going to spend it with him too.
Yeah,
and I can promise you, if it was another person who shall not be named, if it was another person who had forsaken the world to be by Cloud's side, they would not be calling it selfish. They'd be calling it true love. Okay, so I just reject that notion in general. It's obviously meant to be super romantic. She's literally, she has a week to live. She'd be going off doing anything in the world she wanted to.
And she's choosing working on that tan.
She could be doing a whole lot of stuff for that those couple weeks that they waiting on the world to end.
Because hey, nobody else knows the world is ending. I'm gonna go to the casino.
And instead, she's working her fingers to the bone, taking care of Cloud to the point where the nurse is like, man, she's making herself sick. How well she's taking care, and like, she must really love him. That is true love. See, this is the thing about love, and this is what I love about Cloudy. Cloudy shows that, let me put it this way, and we'll end on this. Hopefully, if Ma can't join us before that, because she had to step away for a minute, we'll just end. The thing about Cloudy, and, unlike pretty much most, in fact, I can't think of too many Final Fantasy couples that we actually get to see the aftermath of. Waka and Lulu, we get to see aftermath because you have X2 and you see, more stuff that happens and them have a baby and stuff like that. But it's not a ton. And I mean, hell, there's not even a handful. But
yeah, you're not wrong.
So, you know, while it's these Cecil and Rosa, while, you know, I like Titus and Una, and I like, and you do see some of that, but they end up breaking up on it.
Not Luna in this house.
Yeah, but like Renoa and Squall, Zidane and Garnett, and other couples like that, you don't get to see, you know, what happens the day after, and not saying that those couples didn't last, wouldn't have lasted, etc. But you have people who met under dire circumstances and were drawn together during that time, and so it's hard to really see what would happen. Cloud and Tifa are unique because they weren't close as kids. You know, they weren't like they according to the Japanese at least, they played together as little kids, and then at some point they started to separate. Cloud started to distance himself. Yeah. We know, just if we know about little boys, he probably just started realizing he had feelings for Tifa and seeing that, and the other boys started being jealous. Blah blah. We're gonna get to see some of that in the live stream. Saying I guarantee you we're going to get an actual explanation this time around, because they realized leaving that open was not the thing to do, because it gave too much negative fodder to not truly explain why, you know, like go into more detail. So but they're not super close the whole time that they're kids. There is this rift between them, at least from Cloud's side, because of the Mount Evil incident, and there's these times with large periods of separation and things like that. But then they find each other as adults, and you can see that that lifelong longing that they had for one another, and the love that they have for one another, even if they were kids, it still trails into adulthood for them, and then it's like they almost fall in love with each other all over again as adults, you know, because it is a different relationship if you knew somebody when you were 14 versus 21, obviously. Yep. And what it shows is their love endures. It endures times of separation, and endures times of struggle. It endures times of grief, it endures times of depression. And there are parts where they have good times, obviously, but the reason that those feelings still carried throughout their childhood and throughout their adulthood, and now they're 24, 25, it's the latest Lord that we have, and still together and happy, is because that they had that foundation, that unconditional love that they had for one another. And Cloudy just shows that true love endures. You know, it's real easy to see somebody and fall in love and, you know, have a whirlwind romance for, you know, a couple of days or whatever, Titanic type stuff. Like, oh, yeah, you know, I met you, oh, I'm horny, let's have sex. Oh, now we're, you know, blah, blah, blah. now
it goes down to something, though, because when you really think about it, very few romances do give you the after of where they went through the hardships, where she's having a bad day because her period sucks, or he's having a bad day because of work, or the mortgage needs to be paid, or
hey, we got 2 kids that we're taking care of, and the struggles with that.
Sucking the romance out of everything. Like, you don't get to see that, partly because consumers themselves don't care about the day-to-day. We're looking to escape day-to-day life.
Yeah, they want the fairy tale.
Exactly, but but also to that vein, I think that's part of, like, for example, I can name one movie where you get to see the couple after that riding off into sunset, and that's like The Mummy, which I love The Mummy movies, but there's an example of you get to see them still being in love afterwards. We need more of that.
Yeah, I definitely think we do. It's the curse of, you know, it's like what I almost consider the Disney curse almost, you know. I think in a sense it is setting people up to not have realistic expectations of what a relationship is. No, but first off, I don't even believe in love at first sight. What it is lust at first sight. Okay, it's you look very attractive to me right now. I look very attractive to you. We had a fun day today. And I'm not saying that there's a problem with love at first sight type relationship. Like Zareth is a love at first sight, but they also had a 2-year relationship. You know what I mean? Like they got to know each other. You get to see.
It might just be love at first sight for us, the consumer, because we only get like snippets of minutes. But for them, it's just like, lust at first sight. I mean,
they had a long relationship though, yeah, they had a long they had a long relationship. So I guess in a sense we do get to see the aftermath of Zareth as well, in a way. You know what I mean? It's not just we had a great first date, or what, we had a great first day, and then it's just
exactly
you get to see Aerith.
Yeah, you get a lot of romance. You see them get into the relationship. You don't see after the relationship.
Yeah, and
like
even the first day, you know, there's some strife going on. Because Zach's mad about his wallet being stolen, and Aerith knows the kid and knows that something must be going on, but she doesn't know him, so she's not sure how to, you know, so you see this conflict happening, and then Zach calms down. He's like, well, look, you obviously see something in this kid, so I'm not gonna tear his head off when I see him. And they go through that conflict resolution, and you see how well they mesh together, and then you see her, you know, it's not manly, quote unquote, to be crying, you know. And yet she sees him crying, and she doesn't, you know, which is kind of uncharacteristic of Aerith, almost in a way. She doesn't like try to change the subject, or, you know, well, let's think about something else. Like, you know, because I mean, not that like she just trying to rally, like, hey, let's think about something else. But she just embraces the moment and listens to him cry. Like, you see those moments that make,
and that's what makes it such a good relationship, because one. Yes, us, the consumer, we get a more realistic example of, sometimes you have to be one that shoulders the burden for your loved one. There's going to be times where they need you to pick up the slack and be there for them. It's not always going to be sunshine and daisies. There's going to be days where you just want to strangle your partner because they're being fucking stupid. Not stupid. So, but then at the same time, on the adverse, or on the other side of it, they're going to be the one that's there for you on your toughest days, but we need to see those toughest days. Like, if you have a relationship that never fights, then you have a relationship that never communicates. You're not always going to agree. You're not always going to be on the same side of an argument. There will be points where you bump heads, and that's normal, natural, and healthy. Obviously there are some conflict or some types of conflict that are toxic and dangerous. Don't get me wrong. I'm a child of law enforcement. I know all the horror stories. But a shouting match of raising your voice a little bit, not the end of the world. Needing to be like, I need to take a break before I do something, not the end of the world. Not agreeing on everything and being a carbon copy of your thoughts and beliefs and experiences, not
totally
the end
normal.
of the world.
Totally normal.
Exactly. And you're right. There's like not even a handful of relationships where you see that. You don't even see that in friendships. Maybe you'll get one or two where you'll have an actual legitimate friendship and not a frenemy where you'll bump heads. Like, maybe you'll get lucky and you'll have that. But most of the time they play it up as frenemies because real friends don't fight, which is bullshit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's just one of those things, because it's just, one, Tifa's not the chosen one. So there is no reason for anyone to look at her and be like, oh, she can save the world, this, that, and the other. No, she's just a regular girl.
Just a regular girl. I love it. And there's nothing, there's nothing wrong with inherently wrong or right with any of the character tropes. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's nice to see somebody that you can relate to and imprint on, and be like, hey, I can do that.
Yes, yeah, again, even because it's not just about Aerith or Red 13 or somebody who is not born human or superhuman, I should say, it is, even Cloud, with the Mako enhancements. Now he had raw ability as well, but like, a big thing of it is, he has these soldier enhancements and blah blah blah. She was just like, I want to learn to fight. I want to learn to defend myself. I want to learn to, discipline myself, defend myself, and she just made it happen out of pure willpower, discipline.
Exactly. Like, he's not the chosen one. He's the survivor of the chosen one that fell. So it's still very much a. There's just
I always call Cloud accidental hero. He was just trying to get laid. He's accidental hero. He was just trying to get laid and happened to save the world in the meantime. Okay, that's just what it is.
Exactly. And that's both of them. And I feel as if I think creators.
Hey, Nova.
I think creators in general, be it video games, books, movies, what have you, will try to replicate what this lightning in a bottle that came out in Final Fantasy VII, Tifa, Cloud, their relationship, how all the characters, even though they are, to an extent, a lot of them are tropes.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Well, all of them, I mean, nothing. Yeah, I mean, nothing is truly original anymore. You're going to have some tropes. Like Claudia has so many freaking tropes, it's ridiculous.
Exactly.
but the way that they've culminated these two characters, created these two characters, and put their relationship together in the history that they have is unique. You know, that the combination is unique.
Exactly. It's so much about it that is just...
Yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, like you said, like not only is so the characters individually are unique, are unique and breaking stereotypes like Tifa, like everything we just said about Tifa, and then their relationship shows you unique in their realness. In your ability to relate to them. Now, I have never had Mako experience, but I have suffered through mental, we've all suffered through mental struggles, depression.
Yeah, we've all suffered through trauma, both physical and mental.
Suffered through trauma, suffered through depression, suffered through maybe having not the greatest self-esteem, which is something that both of these two seem to share.
Yeah, exactly.
Because even though Tifa, everybody views Tifa as perfect, she doesn't view herself as perfect. You know what I mean? And she also is self-conscious about I think she's self-conscious about the way men look at her, almost like in a predatory manner. Some it just says her closest friends. Somebody mentioned this, and I thought it was brilliant. They said, for all the stuff that people say about Cloud wasn't close to her, he was the one that truly saw her. He was the one that wanted to come back a man worthy of her affection, not come back, with a wad of cash and be like, hey, okay, I can basically buy this trophy now. I got the money now. Let me go become a banker or something, get some money, get some status, and then I'll come back and buy her affection. He wanted to become a warrior for her. He wanted her to know, I'm going to cherish you, honor you, and protect you.
Which is deserves.
Yeah, absolutely. He never saw her as a trophy or a prize. He saw her as a woman that he needed to rise up. He, in his mind, needed to rise to be worthy of.
Exactly.
Whereas Amelia and them, her close friends,
are fighting over her and
they never really saw her. I mean, making advances toward her that she would constantly have to dodge. And
or how you gotta play stupid. Yeah, we've all played that game where I don't know, what?
And never asking, like Emilio sent her that letter saying, "Oh yeah, I'll come and save you from this place." It's like, I never asked you to.
Who do you think you are?
Meanwhile, Cloud wasn't even thinking about making a promise, but when she asked for it, he's like, "Okay, if that's what she wants." Okay,
exactly.
That's all I need to know.
Exactly. And the more you think about it, and the deeper you dig, and honestly, I think and as you have more experiences to kind of color your vision a bit, and you look back on these things that we've enjoyed as children, and more layers get peeled back, even within the context of OG being a skeleton compared to the actual story that they wanted to tell. Like, it's the rough draft, it's the bullet points, so to speak.
Yeah.
So even then, you peel back the layers, and it's just like, huh.
It's very deep. I mean,
yeah, exactly. And Tifa herself, especially as a woman looking at her, and the older I get, of having to be wearing all the hats and doing all the things to a point where it's to my own detriment, and almost it's still very much you kind of have a blueprint. You kind of have okay, she kind of makes it so that even though she is a character, she still makes your experience feel less lonely.
Yeah.
Because just if a character can exhibit these same hardships that myself and other women have gone, then that must mean that I'm not abnormal or my situation isn't abnormal. She's every woman.
And a character who easily could have run into a Rufus and been his wife. You know, like
Exactly.
she doesn't need to try as hard as she does, frankly. But but in that relationship, because I wouldn't want to skate through life either. Not saying I am Tifa Lockhart,
I mean, I joke about it, but
I'll joke about it.
I mean, like, between
but you just see somebody
who take a day off my vacation because I was going crazy with boredom.
Yes, but you see somebody who on the surface you may not be able to immediately relate to, but when you actually view her personality and who she is, and you see that someone like her can go through the same struggles as you do, and of course we know this is just a character and nobody's under the impression this is somebody real, okay? But that's what my fiction is supposed to.
It's a reflection of life.
Yeah, it's a reflection of life. So you're supposed to get these kind of feelings when you look at characters. Yeah, there's a lot to aspire to with a character like Tifa.
Exactly, and this idea of Tifa, or this version of a perfect woman, because Tifa is not everyone's perfect woman, but she is somebody's perfect woman. She's my perfect woman.
She's a lot of people.
But ultimately, it's still very much her realness, like you said, her realness is what's resulted in so many people imprinting on her. It's not just the fact that she's beautiful inside and out. It's that she's real almost. Like, we've all gone through one or part, or hell, some of us have gone through most of her struggles. Mm-hmm. So it's founded in a reality, and it's just like, oh, I'm seen. Because if that's the only way that a character like Tifa could have been made, if that struggle was seen in someone else. Yes. So it's just, hey, even if they are not seeing me, they're seeing people like me, and that is validating.
There's a lot of parts that by the way, Nova said Cloud is always falling. I guess what Tifa said, and Melza said falling down, falling forward, falling in. But yeah, Tifa,
Tifa!
There's a lot of parts where she could have resigned herself to the situation.
Yep.
She could have let grief just consume her after her mom died. She could have let she could have just decided to become, like I said, somebody's wife, some traditional village wife, you know. She had plenty of suitors lined up to do it. She could have not had the will to fight and died in Nibelheim. She, you know, I mean, like, yeah, she wanted constant, but I'm saying there's a fire in her.
Yeah, there was a will to survive. Like, if you don't want to survive, you won't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I am a firm believer that if you give up on life, you will die. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what dying of a broken heart is, for an example. I mean, it's not
exactly.
Yeah. She could have seen Nibelheim burning and just, ran off. Like, she constantly is facing these challenges.
And her will to survive is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
She survived almost being cut in half.
Yes, and when she first gets to Midgar, she could have just given up, and she almost kind of wanted to. It was like, I'm injured, I'm alone, I'm 15, I'm completely alone. I got all this debt. I got nowhere to go. I'm living in a crate. But she just finds a will to keep going. And let's keep it honest. Girl, a girl that looks like her, as Rakesh insinuated she should do, could have easily ran off the wall market. You think her age would have been a problem for Don Corneo? Absolutely not.
It was not.
And that's just a cold hard reality of life. There are a lot of children who find themselves in that situation. And she could have.
Don Corneo, he tries to marry Yuffie.
All right, see you, Bobby. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Like OG gets real raw sometimes. It gets real raw sometimes. But that's real shit right there. That's real. That's real life right there. And I love how Nojima put all these realities up, because even even that doctor showing her bare chest to Marl, just like, oh, here it is. It's like, what the? Obviously Marl not looking at it like that, but it's like, it's jarring.
Showing off a little kid.
Yeah, it's jarring. There's this Tifa sees this kid get killed in front of her. Like, there's a lot of real stuff going on in there, and so yeah, if she had not had the willpower she does, and I am not faulting by anybody who does sex work, by the way, whatever situation that brought you into that is not, trust me.
We are pro sex workers.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as they are of age and doing it of their own will, of their own consent.
I will defend them with my
I got no problem whatsoever with that. But yeah, Tifa could have absolutely just, well, this the way I can get out of debt. Let me just do it. But she knows what she wants out of life, and she just, she decided to take the I forgot to say it now, but you get what I'm saying. She wanted to go down the path she wanted to go down.
Yeah,
and so
she wanted to go her own way, her own autonomy.
When most people would have just absolutely given up, I think.
Absolutely.
They're like, just forget it. So yeah, it's wonderful. All right, well, that's all I had to say about her. We all love Tifa. Yes, I'm seeing her. Lynn, I think part of the success was due to the character subverting archetypes prevalent at the time, while being vague enough that people who didn't realize it were still able to enjoy the story it was masquerading as. Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. 100% true. Hey, Zuko. Tifa strong-willed. Mm-hmm. Yes, and Tifa shows that, for one, if like I said, she's in the lore. I'm not saying she's the perfect woman, but in the lore, she is considered, the perfect woman. Everybody who talks about Tifa is like, oh my God, Tifa's amazing, blah blah. She's so gorgeous. She's this and that and that. If somebody like her can be going through these type of struggles, then us real women, going through the same struggles, like, well, hell, if she's going through them, then of course I can go through the same struggles, and there's nothing wrong with me. That's just the struggles of life.
It's the hand I've been dealt.
Yeah, and if she can find the willpower to get through these type of situations that are way worse than me just having a bad day at work, we can do anything.
Exactly. So it's just, there's just so much, or so many praises to sing about this woman, about Tifa, and it's hard not to love her. You have to choose to hate her at this point. Mm-hmm. So more
you don't have to love her. You don't even have to like. But I mean, to hate her is just like, and to not acknowledge, the amazing qualities that she has. Again, you don't have to like her, but I mean, I don't have to. It's like, I don't have to like ABC billionaire, but I'm not gonna deny they're a billionaire. Like, it's just a reality. She has a lot of objectively amazing qualities that any young woman could aspire to have.
Exactly. I imprinted on her hard.
Her looks is just one thing, and frankly, it just makes people who view her as just that shallow, it really says it, because I used to get mad. I don't even really get that mad about it anymore, because it really shows how shallow of a character you have if you and how sexist and misogynist you are if you just see a woman and if she's, oh well, that's all she is. It's like, but there's a person in there too, and there's a
exactly.
You ever heard of "Don't judge a book by its cover"? I mean, is that a thing anymore? Exactly. I don't know. Exactly. Maybe I was raised with that. I have no idea.
I was too.
And absolutely.
Exactly. And what it ultimately will boil down to is just that, just like Tifa, like with a lot of us, we are more than who we appear to be. You don't see the struggles underneath.
Whether it's our sex, whether it's, our looks, Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Hell, whether it's our past and things we've done in the past, like, yeah, but see me as I am now. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I am the sum of my parts. And it's not just my exterior bits. It's still all my struggles, all my hardships, all my joys, everything that makes me laugh, cry, all of these things that culminates into who we are. Bacon.
Bacon has made me who I am. Okay, sorry. I just had to throw that out there.
I am like the most anti-American American. I don't like bacon.
Oh, good Lord. All right. Well, we're definitely ending this stream now. Let me get this. All right. Last comments. Tifa strong-willed. Absolutely. Good old 90s tropes. Yeah, girl. Now listen. One of those 90s tropes to get you every time I go back and watch the 90s shows, especially if it's something to do with crime. I'm like, oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if you were Italian, if you were black, if you were Hispanic, if you were Arab, you had a rough time in media in the 90s. And early 2000s. Ooh, there were only like 2 or 3 things you could play. That was about it. What, Rhea? Okay, yeah. Makes no sense to hate on her. Yeah. Like I said, you just have to discard people. You just have to dismiss and discard people like that. Clearly just salty, jealous. I mean, can you imagine this being jealous, this jealous of Pixels? Like, really, because they got the man that you wanted. I mean, come on now. Anyway, I'm getting in my salty phase. Let me shut up while I'm ahead.
We only want a little bit of salt.
Ooh, let me stop while I'm ahead. Dry, crispy, and tired. Bacon.
Yeah, that's what bacon is.
Hey, Meza. All right. You are officially banned off this. All right, well, everybody, it has been fun. Monk had to go, but she would say thank you very much. Let me show y'all one more time. We have Tifa Month going on. This is part of the Under the Stars Discord. If you go to Discord, type in Under the Stars, you'll see it. Every Wednesday of this month is Tifa Month, so do hashtag Tifa Month 23, hashtag Happy Birthday Tifa. Here are the prompts once again, and you can find all of this information on, if you go to twitter.com, go to @CloudTifaEvents, and this is the pinned tweet that you'll see. So, want to thank everybody once again. Love Tifa, amazing character. I mean, just, man, I really can't wait to see what else we have in store as far as Tifa in the upcoming games. Tifa merch is selling like crazy. The girl is
Tell
a superstar.
me about it.
The girl's a superstar.
I really like update my listing. Here's more Tifa stuff, and then it's gone. It's just like, damn it.
Yeah, it's like I managed to get that Fathom shirt.
Yeah, don't rub it in.
It will never leave that package. It will be framed on my wall. You better believe as much as I paid for it.
You better go and do it because I need the shirt and the jacket. And jacket. And I'm going to wear it all the fucking time.
And it looks like they're not done because that last message they put out, first off, Fathom has been hashtagging Cloudy for the last 5 posts. Hashtag Cloudy. They've been putting Cloudy all over this stuff. And to understand how significant this is, Fathom was they are working directly with Square Enix at this point. Like they were working through. They were like a third party to, I forget what it's called, sorry, but they made a bunch of, there's this company that made a bunch of official 25th anniversary stuff, and Fathom was commissioned to do this particular shirt for Tifa. It kept selling out. Yeah, where then they just asked Square Enix, like, can we keep selling this shirt? And so they allowed them to, and they sold it. They sold it again, sold out. And this is the first time that they had like U.S. shipping. The shipping was outrageously high. Still sold out in minutes. And so the last tweet that they put out, they seem like they ready to do something else too. So Tifa is a global icon. I mean, Power Wash is some random Power Wash simulator game. Tifa's bar blew up. Everybody was talking about it. Her watch sold out. I mean, the watch is $350. $350 for a watch. I don't need to tell time ever again. Okay, and that's sold out. You can't keep Tifa merch on the shelf. So yeah, that's our girl right there. Yeah. That's our girl. That's our man right there. That's our girl.
Oh my gosh. Like my Etsy shop, like I did the profit and loss report when I was doing my taxes. Over half of my sales
just Tifa
related. Over half.
And speaking
by a large margin.
Yes, and speaking of, so just showing this is some of her Tifa merch. Pretty sure. Yep. And
I got my teardrop earrings over here.
Teardrop earrings, yes, she makes great stuff. So definitely check out Rhea.
All the Tifa stuff is going to be on sale. It is on sale right now, but there's going to be an additional percentage off for the entirety of Tifa's birthday month. Have mercy on my soul. So if there is a slowdown just poke me because I'm keeping up with everything.
All right, girl. Well, appreciate it, Rhea. And I hope everybody. Thank you from Meza, Green Onion, Supernova, Bobby, and other people who came in earlier. I apologize. I'm forgetting names. Lynn, Final Heaven, and everyone else. Sorry if I forgot anyone's name, but really appreciate everybody joining us. And y'all have a great one. We'll see y'all on Twitter.
Bye.
Bye.